Welcome to the Greenlight podcast. My name is Dr. Davis.
And I'm Ms.Imani.
And our goal today is to educate you guys on current events. We want you to be aware of what's going on so you're in the know. We want to share amazing stories from our undergraduate students on campus. And of course, we want to keep you updated with everything you need to know so you are a master student. So we're going to start off with what we call
Culture Chats.
Imani, take it away.
Okay, so what's your favorite Angela Bassett movie?
Favorite movie? Waiting to Exhale.
Why?
Because one, it's a classic, right? It came out late 90s. That's when I was coming up.
Okay.
But also it told a story about what women go through at that time. I guess now also.
Yeah.
So it told a story and a lot of women could relate to it. And I kind of enjoyed it myself.
So you liked, your favorite part was the burning of the car.
I never said that, but
Okay,
again,
sorry, I heard it.
no, I never said that. But it was an interesting scene. What's your favorite movie?
Oh, how Stella got her groove back.
Okay, I'm afraid to ask why.
Why? Just ask me.
Why?
Okay, I think I loved it because it was a powerful, strong single mom, and I'm a single mom. And she had so many boundaries that she set up for herself. And it was the one time you could just see how she released and she felt free and she felt comfortable just putting herself out there. But you can also see her emotional turmoil when she was scared to do it. And then naturally she just went into it and then she fell in love. And oh my God, I love a good into it story.
All right, that's a great reason why. But why do we bring Miss Angela up to begin with?
Okay, so she won at last Saturday's NAACP Award. She won 3, right? So she took home Best Supporting Actress in Wakanda. She also took home the Outstanding Actress,
Right.
and Entertainer of the Year.
Right. So she did well. She represented well. So kudos to her. What else is going on?
Well, speaking of February, Golden State's Warriors forward Draymond Green made a comment about how Black History Month should be canceled and we should celebrate 365 days a year.
Right.
How do you feel about it?
Valid argument, right? So I do understand his rationale because I think we should celebrate Black History around the year. But I do like Black History Month because we can focus. So we have 28 days to focus on Black achievement. And we have corporations from McDonald's to whoever, they're promoting it. And I enjoy it.
Okay, well, deeply understand that, but why not celebrate it all year round in the same way? So 1 month we're driving all of our focus and all of our attention there. So why not do that every month?
I think we could do both. I think we can have Black History Month, but also celebrate afterwards. And I think we do, but it's not an emphasis because we focus on women history or Hispanic history, other cultures as well.
Okay.
So, but
so
I
everyone gets a bit.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. But I do think we celebrate it all year.
Okay, just February is a little bit more enhanced.
Absolutely.
Do you feel? So do you agree with his comment or do you not?
I'm going to disagree. I enjoy Black History Month, so
Okay.
I disagree. What about you?
I don't know. I'm a little iffy
Because if you had to pick,
if I had to pick, well, let me explain why. So I really appreciate his comment because it shows his passion for it, but I do love the attention that a lot of these companies give to it. So everyone's paying attention, everyone's learning at the same time, and you can just see that different cultures are all getting a chance to shine. I do appreciate that. But naturally, I think as individuals, we should consistently celebrate it 360.
Definitely.
I feel like that should be our responsibility.
Definitely.
Yeah. So Nipsey Hussle's killer was indicted.
He was he was sentenced actually to 60 years in prison for killing Nipsey Hussle in 2019. So that's unfortunate that Nipsey Hussle passed, of course.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
No.
Okay.
I read the book. I'm a huge fan of Nipsey, so it definitely hurt to lose him. He was a entrepreneur. He had the Marathon store, countless mixtapes. He finally signed to a record label. He was in movies. He was
giving back to the community.
He was giving back to the community. He was doing so much, and for his life to be taken at a young age really hurt me and millions of fans.
So how did you feel when you found out that Eric Holder wasn't able to get the death penalty? Did that matter to you, or you just kind of wanted him to sit?
No, I think it was justice. You know, whether death penalty or being in jail for 60 years, you know, that's kind of a death penalty anyway because he's not getting out. So I think it brings closure to the fans, for the fans and the family.
And the family. I agree with that.
Yeah.
So Tyree Nichols.
Yeah, so Tyree Nichols, the 5 Memphis police officers pleaded not guilty.
Every single one of them.
Every single one of
Even
them.
though it's on camera.
Even though it's on camera.
But we pretend like it's not. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel?
Well, that's their right, right? It's their right to plead not guilty and go to court. But I thought that they would kind of own up to the situation, considering
At
it
least
is
one.
at least one. No one did. But I don't know the legal strategy there. So I guess time will tell.
Yeah. Well, they just released new evidence yesterday, actually, that the Memphis judge is blocking over 20 hours of unreleased footage from the public, in which we will not see until their lawyer actually reviews it.
Right. So I would imagine it has to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because what we saw already was terrible.
Yeah.
So but we'll see how it plays out in court.
Well, I just feel like we shouldn't have to wait. Like, don't you feel like that? I mean,
To see the footage?
I don't think we should have to wait to see the footage. We already saw a couple seconds. So if it is that bad, then why wait to show us worse?
Yeah, I agree. I think the public should have access to the footage in a short period of time. But for the sake of order, I don't know what's on the footage, but for the sake of order, and I like order, if it's going to prevent riots or whatever, then I'm okay with delaying.
Okay, I can understand that, the riot part.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can understand that.
Yep.
So Sophia Rosing, 22.
Yeah, so
State.
we have a student who was harassed at the University of Kentucky. She was called the N-word and the B-word by a former student.
And she was only 19. Her name was Kayla Spring.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate for any student, a 19-year-old, but any student to have to experience that on campus while they're getting an education. So that's definitely unfortunate. But the student, she was permanently banned from the university.
Do you feel like that's enough?
Yeah, I think so. Because it wasn't physical, even though she did touch her, she held her on tape on the video, but it wasn't like a physical assault. So I think what?
Disagree.
Disagree?
Well, it was physical because she kept pushing against her and then also trying to hit her in the face. So the only reason why she wasn't able to really physically insult her was the fact that she was holding her arms down the entire time. But a student worker shouldn't have to experience. I don't want to send my daughter off to college and then find out that some drunk student was attempting to attack her. As a parent, that's scary.
So to go back to your original question, the expelling her, is that not enough?
I don't feel like it's enough.
So you think the law or legal should get involved?
I think so. I think it should be some rules in place when students come back to campus or on campus at all intoxicated and then find that they have such easy access to insulting someone on campus, calling them outside of their name, whatever the case may be, and all she does is get kicked out of school. She can easily go to another one, but Kayla has to move on through the semester knowing that she got attacked, and now the entire world can see that.
So that's a valid argument, but if she were to go to another school, we have her name, so her reputation will follow her.
Yeah, and it's on video for the rest of her life.
Yeah. So I guess consequences that way.
Yeah. Longevity. Her kids will see it.
Yeah, good point.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Greenlight podcast.
Today we have a special guest, our first guest of the show. We have Dioby Cherisme. He is a second-year cybersecurity major from Palm Beach County. Welcome to the show.
Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, second-year cybersecurity scholar, like Dr. David said. I was born in Haiti. I moved to the States when I was 7 years old. Went to a small town called Pahokee, Florida, which is in Palm Beach County, in the Glades area. Played football, won state, all that good stuff. Then after high school, I joined the Navy Reserves before coming to college. So I'm actually a non-traditional student. And since being at FAMU, I've gotten involved in a plethora of different stuff, such as Presidential Ambassador, Student Government Association, as I'm currently one of the senators here. I'm also the parliamentarian for the Trio Scholars Association as well. Haitian Culture Club, I'm a member of NAACP, so got my hands in a lot of stuff. And I also was fortunate enough to be a Thurgood Marshall Scholar at their Leadership Institute this past fall.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about the Thurgood Marshall opportunity you had. But before we get into that, let's break the ice a little bit.
Okay. Nikes or Jordans?
Jordans.
Why?
Because you can go wrong with Nikes, you can't go wrong with Jordans.
Haitian food or Jamaican food?
For sure Haitian.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
What's your favorite? You can only pick one.
Like I said, you
Just
cannot
one.
pick one Haitian food. It's all of them
Well,
for
give me
me.
one dish.
One Haitian dish,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not my favorite though because like
Well,
it's
what's your favorite?
there is no favorite. I like them all. But if I would recommend you a dish, right? I would probably say Zi John John Aklegi,
And what is that?
which would be our dark rice with greens, and the greens also have it has meat in it. Depending on who's cooking it, they decide what all they would like to put in. So,
Sounds good.
It does. So
It does.
fried chicken Wednesday or fried fish Fridays?
fried chicken Wednesday.
Okay.
Can't go wrong with fried chicken Wednesday. All right, so let's get into your experience. You went to New York City with the Thurgood Marshall initiative. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
For sure. So it was expense trip paid and taken care of by the Thurgood Marshall Scholars Fund, and they have a leadership institute which they do annually, which basically they have all their corporate partners come there with their different students from different HBCUs who all that Thurgood Marshall represent. Um, Luckily, I was one of the 30 plus students with Florida A&M who was chosen to go on this event, and during that time there, got a chance to have a lot of breakout sessions with corporate partners, do interviews for jobs, attend a career fair. There was a gala at the same time. I was also a recipient of a John Deere scholarship while I was there. Got a chance to connect with past FAMU graduates and alum who happened to be there as well. There was one guy who's like a major director at Northwestern Mutual who came back, who went to FAMU way back in the day, so I had a chance to meet and connect with him as well during my time there. So it was just a great event where I left with much more than I came in with.
So how did you even hear about the opportunity? I know we spoke about it, but briefly tell everyone.
For sure. So the opportunity came from one of my friends that I actually knew at the center at the time. So they sent me the opportunity. It was like, you should apply. Me not knowing what it was at the time, but I knew there was a good person and they wouldn't send it to me for any reason. So I decided to go ahead and apply and had an interview, end up actually
Making it?
getting it. So
Yeah. Any regrets?
no, none whatsoever.
Can you talk about how it felt to interview while you were there? Because it's my understanding you interview with different companies. Talk about that experience. Were you prepared? Were you nervous?
I was prepared for sure, but the preparation didn't just happen there. So my interview for this past fall, I interviewed with a bunch of different companies while I was there. Like I really interviewed with a bunch of companies, but my internship is for this upcoming summer, which company would be with Vanguard up in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
But I was also blessed enough to have done an internship and done an interview by myself for last year, which I interned with another company out in Dallas, Texas, and I did well in that interview. But being here, at FAMU, I had done interview prep, resume prep, and just how to went over these different people when you're doing interviews by the STAR method, and just knowing when I'm going into the interview what type of interview that I'll be doing and how to navigate those interviews, whether it be behavioral or technical. So, but throughout the Thurgood Marshall Leadership Institute, it's not just the conference within itself that you have to do. So it's a whole span of time where they have different events and different webinars where you have to hop on, and they really prepare you for the institute. So when you get there, you can flourish and do what you need to do. So from time to time, it was like bi-weekly, I believe, or something of that sort. We had to hop on webinars where we were already talking to different people, as well as they're helping us build our resumes, helping us prepare for interviews, telling us what words we should be using in these interviews, how to just communicate with these different employers. So they really prepared us for our success when we got there.
You mentioned preparing, right, through Thurgood Marshall, the webinars, but did you go to our Career Center as well on campus?
Yes. So one of the person who was helping the FAMU students with this was Dr. Means. He's also over the Career Center. So me personally, I had already been in there prior to when it just came to resumes, because initially, before Thurgood Marshall started helping you fix your own resume, you had to come in there with a resume presented to them so they can, try to help you build off of that. So I went to the Career Center for that.
Okay.
So how did your academic coach support you along this journey?
Time management.
What have you learned so far?
Making a schedule helps. So having a set schedule of what you need to attack on the day that you're doing whatever it is, or a weekly schedule helps versus just trying to wake up, which is what I
Wing it.
just winging it and just letting the day take me as it goes along. So that's what I've learned.
Going back to the initiative, the Leadership Institute, what advice would you give to a student who may be interested in following your path?
For sure. So while you're here, like if you know somebody who's been to this Leadership Institute or have done anything with Thurgood Marshall, because they kind of have a system of the way they do things when it comes to interviews and whether it be for scholarships or just Leadership Institute, just being able to speak with someone who's done it before can help you prepare for it is, so I would give them that advice, just being able to reach out, and then even when you do get a chance to do it, don't be scared and psych yourself out of doing it. Just go for it because you never know.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Nice having you.
Okay.
And we'll be back after this commercial. Welcome back to the Greenlight podcast. Let's jump into our announcements, Dr. Davis.
Yeah, so important things to share. Number one, academic advisement. It's imperative that you all get advised when you come back from spring break, right?
Right.
So two things here. We want you to get advised either for the summer and the fall. Summer is important. Let me tell you why. We want you to have at least 30 credit hours or 60 credit hours depending on your classification. If you don't have that, if you're not going to meet it, if you're going to fall short, consider summer classes. If your GPA is not where you want it to be, consider summer classes. Also, pertaining to GPA, there's something called SAP, Satisfactory Academic Progress. You all must have a 2.0 or 67% completion rate. You got to have both of those in order to receive financial aid. So at the end of the spring semester, if you don't have that 2.0 or that completion rate, consider summer classes. But of course, definitely talk to your academic advisor about enrollment for the summer and the fall.
March 31st is your last day to withdraw. So make sure you also meet with your advisor. But before you withdraw, because you're scared and nervous about failing, make sure that you really feel committed to making this decision, because you only get so many withdrawals. So before you get to your advisor, sit and talk with the people that you trust the most. Sit with your academic coaches and just make sure that you feel confident that this decision will not jeopardize your future.
Right. And before the semester ends, if you have any holds on your account, whether it be financial, a cashiering hold, ASB hold, whatever hold you have in your account, talk to the appropriate people. Before you go home, we want to make sure that we take care of all the holds on your account so that you can get advised. But the last thing is we want to remind you all to persevere. The semester is not over yet. We want you to finish strong. So if that means studying, going to the library, office hours, talking to your academic coach, academic advisor, you have a lot of support on this campus. And our goal is to make sure you graduate in
4 years or less.
4 years or less. So if you need any help, if you have any questions, you can talk to your academic coaches, you can talk to your academic advisors, your professors. You have people on campus that are here to support you. So please get the help. Our goal is for you to graduate in 4 and have the best academic and social experience on campus. So, Ms.Imani,
Yes.
do you have a message for the people?
I do. College can be stressful, but these are some of the greatest memories that you will have for the rest of your lives. So just make sure you stay focused, but you remember to be present, have fun, and just enjoy yourself at FAMU. Yeah.
So thank you for watching. Be on the lookout for more episodes every week, and we look forward to meeting you all and having a discussion.
Bye, guys.